Hey, everybody, welcome to Dad, Daughters, and Drinks, where you'll always get at least two of those three. Today, we are going to be reacting to the new Ren release just from a couple hours ago, I think, Troubles, which is, I saw him talking about it in an interview with Knox Hill. He had sampled and kind of had been inspired by an old song by Vera Hill called Trouble So Hard. Um, so I don't know anything about the nature of Ren's version, if it's going to be singing or rapping, or you never know with him, right? Uh, he did say that he does sample the original song for what he's doing, and so I'm not familiar with this. I thought I would look it up. I haven't listened to it. It's only a minute and a half, so I figure we might as well listen to the original Trouble So Hard first, just to kind of see what we're getting into. Based on what I'm seeing from this cover, the musical journey from the Georgia Sea Islands to the Mississippi Delta tells me that we're probably in for some really old school kind of blues, right? You think of Robert Johnson and what was it, the 1920s, the King of the Mississippi Delta singers. Um, I think I got the name of that right. It's been a while since I've listened to that album. Great album. If you're not familiar with it, you should be. Um, if you're interested in blues music at all. In any case, so if this is back from that time period, it's going to be something pretty, usually very emotional and very kind of simple and yet very powerful. So let's go ahead and start with Trouble So Hard first, and then we'll get to the actual Ren video. Feel free to skip ahead if you're not interested in this part.
Ooh, Lord, ain't my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lord, ain't my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Went down the hill.
How many times have you felt that way, right? Nobody knows my troubles but God.
My trouble but God. Went down the hill the other day. Soul got happy and stayed all day. Oh, Lord, trouble so hard. Soul got happy and stayed all day. Oh, Lord, trouble so hard.
Going back to that sentiment for a second, right? Nobody knows my troubles but God. I think that's one of the reasons that uh, Ren's music has become so big, right? It resonates with so many people that probably have had or are having issues that a lot of times you just feel like nobody knows, nobody can understand what I'm going through, right? And then you hear what he does, and you go, somebody gets it. And in his case, it's not even somebody gets it; it's he's able to express it in a way that makes you say, yes, that's that describes exactly what I'm feeling, right? Or have felt if you're not currently, but uh, and that's the thing I think about true kind of artists and poets is they have ways of expressing things that are complicated and oftentimes very personal in a way that people can actually understand it and resonate with it. Uh, it's amazing talent.
Oh, Lord, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lord, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lord, my trouble so hard. Went in the room, didn't stay long. Looked on the bed and my brother was dead. Oh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Oh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard.
Yeah, I can see why you would want to get inspired by that. It's kind of like I said in the beginning. It's like simple and yet powerful at the same time. Um, again, it's one of those things that if somebody can figure out how to do that, it's just pretty amazing to be able to, you know, express yourself powerfully without needing to be complicated. Give me 1 second while I pull up the Ren video. That's the wrong thing. Oh, it's back and stupid. I'm going to do it the other way. It'll be much faster that way anyway. All right, let's do it. Trouble so hard. Trouble so hard. Hold on, I got to go back for a second before he's telling this, story here. And I know currently he's been releasing these chapters that tell his story. I think it's been about one a day. I think today was chapter 8. I'm not sure if that's the last one or not, because I've only listened to chapter 1 so far. I haven't had the time to go in and listen to those. So we're starting off with, the first 30 seconds or so. He's kind of telling that very simple summary in the bottom here, but something happened with the music there. There's the sample from the original that we heard. It's clearly been modified a little bit, but something that happened in the music that I'm trying to tell if that was his voice or something else. I think it might be. It could be some kind of an instrument, but it could just be some sort of a vocal sample that's doing that. Sorry. That was horrible.
I don't reach into the past very much for these shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw, put the chisel in the middle, swing the hammer of Thor. Pull it out of the impossible, Excalibur sword. Etching notepads full of reasons why my feelings are sore. The first day that...
What was that? He's clearly using some, I think this is the first time I've heard him use a Hammer of Thor reference. He's used Excalibur and a bunch of other ones, but there was something he said there that I missed that sounded cool.
Excalibur sword, etching notepads full of reasons why my feelings are sore. The first day that...
Okay. Etching notebooks, did he say? Like using the sword to write notebooks full of reasons why he's sore?
Excalibur sword, etching notepads full of reasons why my feelings are sore. The first day that I got sick, ejected from the cockpit of living. 19, young teen, waking up bitten. Posters up, manhunt, Ren went missing. Hard to have faith when the gods don't listen. The first hit maybe was the hardest. Waking in the body that was buried like a carcass. Brain in the lion's den, body in the shark pit. Waking up in pain again, aching, broken hearted. Persistent little blogger, I was bouncing from a doctor to a doctor to a doctor, like a table tennis game that has no end. So be the fate of Ren. Every single question answered with a question on the end. The second year I came to terms with giving up my dreams. Mine was severed from the means to help me write these rhyme schemes. Brain was inflamed, the fatigue was crushing. Hard to remain sane with your brain combusting. And the third year was murder, living in a purgatory full of worry. Wouldn't live to be 30. Lifestyle hurt.
I'm gonna go back. If you're not listening to this with headphones, there's some cool kind of secondary voices happening in the different speakers that I wanted to hear again.
Crushing, hard to remain sane with your brain combusting. And the third year was murder, living in a purgatory full of worry. Wouldn't live to be 30. Lifestyle hurt me, always in my bed tomb. Rearrange the alphabet and all the letters spell doom. Light hurt my eyes, popping pills to survive. When you're 23 and mentally you steadily decline. 24 I was poor, disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? It's irrelevant. 25 and the scars that were...
I don't think that this was intentional. but in a way, it almost has a Money Game 3 feel with the way he's kind of doing the year by year description of what's happening. I mean, maybe it was intentional. Uh, it, it's for as many times as I've heard all of the kind of things that he's talking about in bits and pieces. And like I said, I haven't really listened to all of the chapters yet. I've only listened to one of them. Hearing it all put together like this is really kind of, a next level of kind of just heart wrenching.
Rearranged out, then lived to be 30. Lifestyle hurt me, always in my bedroom. Rearranged the alphabet and all the letters spelled doom. Light hurt my eyes, popping pills to survive. When you're 23 and mentally you steadily decline. 24 I was poor, disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? It's irrelevant. 25 and the scars that were etched, they crack. Elastic bands only stretch so far and then snap. Deep in psychosis, hallucinations, troubled vision. This is from the underworld, but conjuring my superstition. 25 living back at home with my mum, but not because I'm a bum, alone and physically done. So thin, so frail, so weak I'd become, and my skin so pale, never kissed by the sun. One time I carved a hole in my chest just to feel. I wish that was a metaphor, the struggle was real. When you're living in the Holocaust, you buckle and kneel. There's relief in the teeth of the kiss of cold steel. Facts, 26 I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I bore my microphone until my coffin started dropping. Raw thoughts with the grim reaper knocking on the track. But then man, low and coffin started to fish at the kiss.
Sorry, I'm going to re-listen to that part. My brain had gone off somewhere based on something he said, and I wanted to go back and re-listen.
Of cold steel. Facts, 26 I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I bore my...
That's an amazing line. I've never heard the phrase like pain sophisticated. It's almost like no matter how many times, you get these different medications, things that help you with the pain, like the pain is going to sophisticate. It's going to elevate to a point that like it's beyond the medicine. It doesn't work quite right, but I think you know what I mean. He did something a little similar, or not necessarily similar, but reminiscent for me in Seven Sins, where he talked about pain condescending, right? Almost it's a personification of pain, which I think he's kind of talked about that a little bit, especially in relation to some of the pig mask things. But pain condescending to you, it's almost like it's bigger than you. It's like making you feel less than you are. And I think the same almost kind of goes with the pain sophisticating line. Like it's kind of a personification thing. It's really so poetic. I don't know how else to describe it because I'm not poetic. Sorry.
Highly medicated and the pain sophisticated while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I bore my microphone until my coffin started dropping. Raw thoughts with the grim reaper knocking on the track. But then man, lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road. Was a stem cell doctor with a generous glow. In the cell transplant brought me out of the cold. And my skin got younger and my body got stronger. And my stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed. And my soul heard music for the first time. The cell beckon on.
Sorry, I can't tell you how many times during the song he says something and it gets my mind going, and then I realize I've just missed about 3 or 4 lines.
Reaper knocking on the track. But then man, lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road. Was a stem cell doctor with a generous glow. In the cell transplant brought me out of the cold. And my skin got younger and my body got stronger. And my stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed. And my soul heard music for the first time. Beauty was a word I'd use for this gift of gold. Oh Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Make me whole. This music I give you, pain that I live through, everything I've been through is yours to hold.
That's really fascinating that he said, Lord, I forgive you, like 4 times in a row?
Beauty was a word I'd use for this gift of gold. Oh Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Make me whole.
Maybe it was 3 times. But still, I mean, Ren obviously has had a very, I'm assuming anybody who's watching this, it's not your first time hearing his music. He's clearly has a very interesting relationship with religion in general. And, he references a lot of different religions, and he talks about, being agnostic, having a lot of, but appreciating the symbolism with a lot of religious things. He tends to be somebody who, while doesn't, he's not religious. You don't get, I've never got the sense that he's necessarily looked down on religion as much as he tries to be respectful with everybody and their beliefs about everything else as well. Um, and I know he talked about, even kind of getting into various religions, trying to, you know, get healed and figure out what's going on with them. Uh, None of which at the time seemed to have worked. Now, whether or not you want to say the fact that he's been on the upswing for a few years and they figured out what's wrong, and it seems to be like it's getting a lot better as opposed to worse. His career is clearly starting to skyrocket. So maybe you know if you looked at things from a religious standpoint, you could say, yeah, maybe he was praying to whichever religion or God that you think he might have been praying to at the time, and maybe it's working, right? Maybe it was just didn't happen as quickly as he would have wanted it to, but maybe there's reasons for that, right? Maybe if he would have prayed on day one and everything would have been great and he got healed, that he wouldn't be reaching all the millions of people that are having troubles right now, kind of thing. So when he's saying, Lord, I forgive you, you get the sense that he's, essentially saying like, maybe it's not an actual religious Lord, I forgive you thing, but just kind of a, I'm seeing positive in all those negative things that have been happening to me.
Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Make me whole. This music I give you. Pain that I live through. Everything I've been through is yours to hold.
Man, I don't know. I can't think necessarily, and my exposure's limited to say the least. But I can't think of any artist who just seems to have more empathy and passion for people that are hurting than Ren does. Um, the only other person who I can think of anecdotally that may be the case is like NF, but I've literally never heard one of his songs. Um, every once in a while, I consider, when I first started listening to Ren, a lot of people compared not necessarily the music, but maybe kind of the content, the, everything with NF a little bit. Nobody really said, like, oh, he sounds like NF. But there was a lot of, I guess for reasons that I don't fully understand, comparisons that were made. Still never heard a single song. Every once in a while I think about diving down to some NF rabbit hole because unfortunately for me, I didn't start doing these reactions until recently, which means I missed out on tons of Ren stuff because I had already heard all of it. So maybe the NF thing's something untapped that I could get into if anybody thought it was worth it. But, and I don't even know necessarily if like he comes across as encouraging in the way that Ren does. And certainly even outside of his music, Ren has always been very super like encouraging, like the things that he does for community, the way that he talks in the interviews about wanting to help people, in large part doing what he does to this day. I mean, other than just clearly loving what he does, which I think is great. He's decided to, not be selfish about it, right? I'm sure he could not write about his past, not write about the things that he's gone through, come up with really cool songs and he's got plenty of them, right? There were whole tons of songs that came out on Sick Boy and outside of Sick Boy that weren't, related to things that he's gone through in the past, that were just great. And he'd probably do extremely well with it. But but he chooses to put himself out there in a way that few others do. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of, I think, compassion for people that are hurting um, in order for him to do that. And so, once again, kudos to him. Kudos to Ren for just being able to not give up and to be just such a like inspiration for so many people, even people that aren't having troubles. Like, I think he still manages to create this amount of like encouragement and empathy that just sucks you in. uh, Even if you have no idea what he's talking about, you've never experienced anything like that, it still touches you. um, so I think that's it for me. This was great. I'm gonna have to listen to this a bunch more times. There was a lot, like I said, it felt like every time I started listening to something, almost every line got me thinking, and I would go off on a tangent, realize that I missed a bunch of stuff, rewound it. I did that a few times, but there were a lot more times than that I got distracted. Uh, Most of the time, I kind of felt like I didn't miss out on something, but a few of the times, like I would be focused on what he was saying, and then the next thing you know, he would be talking about something completely different, and I would just it was like falling asleep during a movie or something. Sometimes you wake up and you don't feel like you missed anything, and other times you wake up and there's things going on and you go, geez, I got to rewind it. That's kind of what was happening to me mentally during that song. uh, I hope that makes sense to anybody other than me. um, okay, well, I think that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you all have a great day and take care, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye.